just saw this news and I went, what the bleep?
The New York Liberty just made the most controversial decision in WNBA history, and nobody saw this coming.
Sandy Brondello, who is a two-time WNBA championship head coach, the coach of the New York Liberty, formerly of the New York Liberty, has been fired.
Sandy Brondello won them their first championship ever just 1 year ago, and now she's gone. Fired. Let go. Not even a thank you for bringing home the trophy they waited 28 years to get. This isn't just shocking. It's unprecedented in professional sports. And the real reason behind it will blow your mind.
Sandy Brondello fired as New York Liberty head coach, and then not even 3 days after Noelle Quinn got fired, the WNBA media is already back to race baiting for engagement.
Before we dive into what really happened behind closed doors, make sure you hit that like button if you think this was the wrong move, and comment below who you think should replace her, because this gets way more interesting. Sandy Brondello wasn't just any coach. She had 2 WNBA championships under her belt, a career record of 271 wins to 181 losses, and a winning percentage over 60%. She took the Liberty to back-to-back finals appearances and delivered their first ever championship in 2024. Then boom, she's out the door faster than you can say dysfunction.
So, Sandy Brondello was just fired from the New York Liberty after 4 seasons.
The Liberty's general manager, Jonathan Kolb, put out this corporate statement saying they thank Sandy for her everlasting impact and wish her the best in her next chapter. Really? That's how you treat the winningest coach in franchise history? But here's where things get really interesting. The Liberty started the 2025 season with a franchise-best 9-game winning streak. Everything looked perfect. Then the injuries started piling up. Breanna Stewart dealing with knee issues, Jonquel Jones missing extended time, Sabrina Ionescu playing through pain. The team that was supposed to dominate fell to 5th place and got bounced in the first round of the playoffs. Now most organizations would look at that and say, hey, our coach dealt with unprecedented adversity and still managed to keep us competitive. Not the Liberty. They looked at it and said, time for a change. What happened next sent shockwaves through the entire league. Within hours of the announcement, every single team without an established elite coach started making phone calls. Dallas, Chicago, the expansion teams in Golden State and Portland, they all want Sandy Brondello. And why wouldn't they? This is a coach who knows how to win championships, who develops young talent, and who commands respect in every locker room she enters. The Fever should be all over this opportunity, but knowing their track record, they'll probably mess it up like they always do.
I'm telling you this for a fact. Sandy Brondello is what Caitlin Clark need as a coach. She's going to let her play. She's a basketball genius, and she is going to let Caitlin do what Caitlin do, and that is shoot fucking threes.
The timing of this firing raises so many questions that nobody's talking about. Why now? Why not give her another year to defend the title properly with a healthy roster? Sources close to the situation are whispering about behind-the-scenes drama that hasn't come to light yet. Some say there were disagreements about playing style. Others hint at conflicts with star players. But get this, when reporters asked Breanna Stewart about Sandy's future just days before the firing, she completely dodged the question. That's not normal. That's a red flag bigger than the one hanging in Madison Square Garden. Here's what makes this even more insane. The Liberty just invested millions into their roster. They've got Sabrina Ionescu locked up long-term. Breanna Stewart is their franchise cornerstone. Jonquel Jones is still producing at an elite level. You don't blow up your coaching situation when you have that kind of talent unless something serious went down. And I mean serious. The kind of stuff that would make your jaw drop if it ever came out publicly. But that wasn't the whole story. Remember when Sandy Brondello was spotted having lengthy conversations with Caitlin Clark's representatives earlier this year? That wasn't just casual small talk. Word around the league is that Sandy was one of the few coaches who openly advocated for protecting star players from the excessive physical play that's been plaguing the game. She saw what was happening to players like Caitlin Clark, getting clotheslined every other game, and actually wanted to do something about it. Maybe that didn't sit well with certain people in the Liberty organization who prefer the old-school physical style. The reaction from around the league has been absolutely brutal for the Liberty. Former players, current coaches, media personalities, everyone is calling this move short-sighted and potentially catastrophic. One anonymous Western Conference coach texted a reporter saying this is the dumbest decision they've seen in 20 years of professional basketball. Another said the Liberty just handed a championship-caliber coach to their competition on a silver platter. The fans are even more ruthless. Social media exploded with Liberty season ticket holders threatening to cancel their renewals. Some are calling for the general manager to be fired. Others are saying this proves New York sports franchises are cursed when it comes to making smart decisions. What's really fascinating is looking at the coaches who kept their jobs despite worse performances. Chicago's coach survived multiple losing seasons. Dallas stuck with their coach through a complete roster rebuild. The Washington Mystics gave their coach time to develop young talent. But the Liberty? Win a championship, and you're still not safe. That sends a message to every coach in the league that job security doesn't exist in New York, no matter what you accomplish. The speculation about Sandy's next destination is already heating up. Dallas makes the most sense. They've got young talent, cap space, and an owner willing to spend money. Chicago could be interesting if they want to make a serious push with their current roster. But here's the wild card nobody's talking about. What if one of the expansion teams throws a massive contract at her? Golden State and Portland both have deep pockets and want to make a splash in their inaugural seasons. Imagine Sandy Brondello building a franchise from scratch with unlimited resources. That's a scary thought for the rest of the league. Now let's talk about who might replace her in New York, because this is where it gets really juicy. The obvious candidate everyone's mentioning is Becky Hammon, but she just signed an extension with Las Vegas. Teresa Weatherspoon's name keeps coming up, but she's got her hands full with her current situation. Then there's the dark horse candidate that would absolutely shock everyone. What if they go after a men's college coach looking to make the jump to professional basketball? It sounds crazy, but crazier things have happened in New York sports. The impact on the Liberty's current roster can't be understated. These players just went through an emotional championship run with Sandy. They built trust, developed chemistry, and created a winning culture. Now they have to start over with someone new. Someone who might have completely different philosophies about offense, defense, rotations, everything. Breanna Stewart is 29 years old. She doesn't have time to waste on coaching experiments. Sabrina Ionescu is entering her prime. Jonquel Jones isn't getting any younger. This roster was built to win now, not to go through a transitional period with a new coach. What really bothers me about this whole situation is the message it sends to the rest of the league about loyalty and success. Sandy Brondello did everything right. She took over a team that hadn't won anything significant in decades. She recruited the right players, developed the right system, and delivered the ultimate prize. Her reward? A pink slip and a corporate thank you statement. If that can happen to her, it can happen to anyone. No coach in the WNBA is safe anymore, no matter what they achieve. The conspiracy theories are already starting to circulate, and some of them actually make sense. Theory number 1 suggests this was about money. Sandy was due for a massive contract extension after winning the championship, and maybe the Liberty didn't want to pay up. Theory number 2 points to a power struggle between the coaching staff and front office about roster decisions. Theory number 3, and this is the spicy one, claims there was a disagreement about how to handle the new wave of young stars entering the league. Sandy supposedly wanted to adapt the team's style to compete with guards like Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers when she enters the league. Management allegedly wanted to stick with their current physical, defensive approach. But here's what nobody's considering. What if Sandy Brondello wanted out? What if she saw something coming that made her decide it was time to leave? Maybe she knew about roster changes that haven't been announced yet. Maybe she had philosophical differences with ownership that couldn't be resolved. Or maybe, just maybe, she already has her next job lined up, and this mutual parting of ways story is just PR spin to save face for everyone involved. The timing also can't be ignored. This announcement came right as other teams are making their off-season moves. It's almost like the Liberty wanted to give Sandy the best chance to land somewhere else quickly. That's either incredibly considerate or incredibly suspicious, depending on how you look at it. Most teams would wait until after the coaching carousel settles to make this kind of move. not the Liberty. They pulled the trigger at the exact moment that would create maximum chaos in the coaching market. What happened next would shock everyone even more. Within 24 hours of the announcement, 3 different teams had already reached out to Sandy's representatives. Not just feeling things out, but with serious contract offers on the table. We're talking about multi-year deals worth millions of dollars. One Western Conference team allegedly offered her complete control over basketball operations, something she never had in New York. Another team supposedly put together a package that would make her the highest-paid coach in WNBA history. The players' reactions tell you everything you need to know about how wrong this decision was. Several Liberty players posted cryptic messages on social media. Heart emojis, broken heart emojis, messages about loyalty and respect. None of them directly called out management, but you could read between the lines. These players loved playing for Sandy. They believed in her system. They trusted her decisions. Now they're being asked to trust an organization that just fired their championship coach for having one injury-plagued season. The broader implications for the WNBA are massive. This league has been trying to establish credibility and consistency for years. Having a franchise fire a championship coach after one down year sends the wrong message to fans, players, and potential investors. It makes the league look unstable and reactionary. It reinforces negative stereotypes about women's professional sports not being taken seriously by their own organizations. This isn't just bad for the Liberty, it's bad for the entire WNBA. And let's be real about what this means for next season. The Liberty are now behind every other contender in terms of preparation. While teams like Las Vegas, Connecticut, and Minnesota are building on established systems with stable coaching staffs, New York is starting from scratch. They need to hire a new coach, potentially bring in new assistants, implement new schemes, and hope their star players buy in quickly. That's a recipe for disaster in a league where the margin for error is already razor thin. The financial ramifications could be severe too. The Liberty finally built a strong fan base after years of mediocrity. They sold out games, moved merchandise, and generated real buzz in the New York market. This decision could undo all of that progress. Fans don't want to support an organization that treats its successful coaches like this. Sponsors don't want to be associated with instability and poor decision-making. The Liberty might have just shot themselves in the foot financially for years to come. But here's the thing that really gets me. Sandy Brondello is going to land on her feet. She's too good not to. Some team is going to hire her, give her the resources and respect she deserves, and she's going to build another championship contender. Meanwhile, the Liberty will be stuck wondering what could have been if they had just shown a little patience and loyalty to the coach who brought them their first title. It's poetic justice waiting to happen. The coaching market just got turned upside down, and every team without a locked-in elite coach should be making their move right now. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to hire a proven champion. Sandy Brondello doesn't become available very often. In fact, coaches of her caliber almost never hit the open market. The team that lands her isn't just getting a coach, they're getting a culture builder, a strategic mastermind, and someone who knows what it takes to win at the highest level. So what's next for the Liberty? They better have a plan because the clock is ticking. Free agency is coming up, the draft is approaching. Other teams are making moves. You can't operate without a head coach for long in professional sports. Every day that passes without a replacement is another day falling behind the competition. And in a league as competitive as the WNBA, falling behind even a little bit can mean the difference between championship contention and missing the playoffs entirely. This whole situation is a masterclass in how not to run a professional sports franchise. You had everything going for you. A championship team, a proven coach, a passionate fan base, and momentum heading into next season. Instead of building on that foundation, you decided to blow it all up for reasons that still haven't been properly explained. It's organizational malpractice of the highest order. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell because we're going to be following this story closely as more details emerge. Comment below where you think Sandy Brondello should coach next and whether the Liberty made the biggest mistake in franchise history. This story is far from over and the fallout is just beginning.